With the recent volatility in silver spot price, I started to ask myself, why can't people just buy industrial bars and refine it for themselves and make the difference? I mean, an industrial bar, a 1,000-ounce bar, you got to have a lot of cash. There's no doubt about it. But if you were able to get it and you were able to put the work in, the question is, how much is the work worth? And would it be even worth it if you could add, let's say, $3,000, let's say $3 over spot to the premium? Is that worth it for how much work it would be to refine, even into 10-ounce bars, let's say, silver? I don't know. I mean, I've seen many channels that do their own pours and things like that, and it looks like it does require some definite work. But I mean, is there a way to take industrial bars and, somehow break them down into smaller portions, either 10-ounce, 20-ounce kilo bars, whatever, and resell them? I mean, would that be a viable business, or is it something that's so difficult that only like a refiner can do it? I don't know. I've never thought about it like in depth, and I've never seen anybody really talk about what it would entail to get through, to be able to do something like that. But it's an interesting concept, right? If you were, big into metals and this is your thing, if you're able to take advantage of that and go ahead and, take industrial bars and refine them down into smaller pieces, why wouldn't you do that? Especially if you can make thousands of dollars. I mean, clearly someone else is doing it, the refiners. Why can't the normal person do it? There's got to be a lot of work. I understand there's got to be a lot to it. It's not as easy as it sounds. But that being said, can it be done? Probably. I just think maybe people haven't really dived into it enough to see, is it a viable option? Secondly, obviously, if you're buying industrial bars, depending on what spot is, there's a risk there, especially if you're a small timer, because if you're spending 20 grand, on an industrial 1,000-ounce silver bar, and then spot craters, well, great, you just got caught with, a bunch of overpriced silver. And that's a real risk, right? Interesting. It's interesting, but I mean, I wonder if these kind of things have crossed stackers' minds of like, is there a different way that you could make money off of silver? See, in the current environment, in the way that we currently operate, we're basically all slaves to the refiners, to the bullion dealers, to the coin shops. And I mean, the coin shops, for better or for worse, they're just kind of a symptom of the greater disease. They're not, the hidden hand there. They're not the evil. Some of them seem kind of evil. Just kidding. But they're not, taking real advantage of the situation. They're just playing the hand they're dealt. Whereas the refiners, the bullion dealers, the mint, even seem complicit in the greater overall scheme to fleece the general stacking community, which is kind of interesting, because think about that. What does that say about the viability of metals as a currency or as a medium of exchange? If the bullion dealers and all these businesses are so apt to take advantage of them, I mean, why would you think that they wouldn't do the same thing in a metals environment? I hear a lot of, when I talk about stuff like this, I hear a lot of people push back and say, well, of course, it's a business. They need to make money. I understand that. I mean, I think we all understand that. But like any business, if you wanted to really go at it, at scale and really get mass adoption of something and get it into the mainstream, I mean, you'd cut down on the high premiums. I mean, 30% premiums, that's a lot. I mean, look at cars right now. Look at purchasing vehicles. It's insane that the type of premiums, or not premiums, but just markups on stuff that, dealers are looking for. It's crazy. But, at a certain point, people are paying it. That's the interesting part about the economy. People are like, the economy's terrible. Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, he crashed the economy. And yet consumption's off the charts, which is basically the very definition of the economic activity. So clearly there's a disconnect there, and I can understand how plenty of people are feeling the pinch. Again, with the amount of debt that we created in 2020, there's going to be a price to be paid. That being said, the rate of inflation's been falling. That doesn't mean inflation's falling. When they're talking about their number, they're talking about the rate of increase, not in the inflation rate. Again, common misconceptions. But anyway, in other news, these are some of the interesting things that I picked up at the LCS recently on my most recent visit. This is actually the prospector round that I had before. Good looking piece. I mean, kind of run of the mill. Actually, you know what? No, I bought this off of Silver Oceans. Let me correct myself. Silver Oceans, I purchased this off of one of his auctions. This is the one that I got from the coin shop. This one's a little different, and I find it actually kind of maybe a little bit more interesting than this one, mainly because the front is pretty normal. Again, prospector. It's got a little bit of toning there on the corner, but this is the part I like about this one, the big E for Engelhard. This one seems pretty cool, and again, because it's dated. Is this one also dated? Oh, this one's actually 2 years older, 2 years younger. So yeah, so this one I guess is a little bit older, but it looks good. Looks good. Again, these are in that area. It's an affluent area where the coin shop is, so you see a lot of stuff that, again, it just comes in from people's estates and things where Grandpa collected all kinds of coins and whatever, but then his kids, as soon as he tapped out, went and sold it to the coin shop below spot. That's the nature of things. That's the circle of life for stackers. Also, this is something else that I got from Silver Ocean's auction. It's a George Washington commemorative coin. Cool, I liked it, and you can see there. Actually, it's pretty interesting because the actual picture looks very similar. Originally, when I was thinking about this coin, I thought, oh, it's him in like just normal, a suit of the time, riding his horse. But no, it's actually the same picture as this one, which is the one I picked up at the coin shop recently this week. So it's the same picture. It's just that this is a proof, which makes it stand out quite a bit more than the other one. Interesting. Again, these are just cool. These are obviously not good purchases for stackers. These are horrible wastes of money for stackers. But again, cool things to have just, as collectibles. Now, of course, I also picked up a few sunshine rounds, which are the bread and butter of stacking. This guy, the Golden State, which I was showing earlier, I like this round. I actually saw this. The cool thing in the coin shop that I go to, they have the display case and just, silver piled on silver, so you really can't see what's what. But I did see like the wagon sticking out, and I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. I didn't realize exactly what it was, because I'm not too familiar with looking at the rounds right off the top. But no, good looking round. The price was right too. Now, this one over here was something that I saw. I liked it because it's still in the Atmex holder, which is cool. These were very popular, like I said, before the pandemic. I haven't heard too much of them since then. But again, good looking piece. The price was right. Can't go wrong with that. But this was the star of the show. This one is the one that I knew there was something to when I bought it, but I didn't know exactly how big of a win it was. So for me, I'm not a big fan of eagles in general, but I do like proof eagles and reverse proof eagles. This one was obviously it's graded MS70, so I was like, you know what, I don't really have too many type 2s, so I was like, you know what, that seems cool. But anytime I see the slab, again, of course, we always get kind of off put, don't pay for the slab, pay for the coin. So I was looking, well, it's a bullion coin, yeah, it's rated MS70, but I was like, it's an eagle MS70 first strike, quote unquote. Wow, yeah, that's real. Get to the chopper. Real interesting stuff there. It's funny because Norm was commenting that first strike. What does that even mean? Does that mean that this was one of the first ones that the planchet when they struck it? I'm sure there's an actual definition, and I am sure that someone's going to let me know the actual definition in the comments. But it's kind of a loosely used term, like what does that mean? The first 1,000, the first 10,000 that got slabbed and it's sold to bullion dealers. What does that mean? But anyway, the real point with this is I think I got it for $32, which I knew right off the bat. Anything MS70 that's an eagle, yeah, that's going to be a win. So I looked this up on Atmex. Apparently they want $68. So yes, this was a win. One of the few times you get to take advantage of the coin shop, or at least in my case. But happy with the overall haul. Now I just have to figure out how I'm going to start my own refinery and start melting down that silver. Also, if you haven't subscribed and gone to the GAW, there is a GAW from a week ago or so. Ends the end of July. You need to get in on that. It's a trivia GAW. It's called Win My Silver. Go find that. Go take a guess. You may win free stuff. That's all that matters. You don't have to stay subbed. Just go win some of my silver. It's not for me. It's for you.